Hey guys, welcome back to my home. Grab a glass of wine or beer because today I am telling you all my secrets on how you can have a backyard barbecue on a budget. If you're new around here and you love eating, drinking, and entertaining, and ultimately just loving your life at home, you probably want to keep hanging out with me because that's what I'm all about here on this channel. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Okay, so how do we have a backyard barbecue on a budget? So first of all, let's explain what even a budget is. I mean, you could have a budget of $1,000, but I'm assuming most of us are watching this video because you want to spend only a little bit of money on your backyard party. And I'm telling you that that's totally doable. So for me, being on a budget for a backyard barbecue, we had about 30 people over last weekend, and we spent about $100 overall for that party. And that's broken down to about $60 for food and then $40 for drinks. Now, I apologize because Andrew did buy a couple things that I didn't necessarily keep track of, but overall, like, our budget was pretty low for this party. So there's a couple things that you can do. You know, I'm about to give you a couple tips on just how to change your mindset of how to have a party that's really going to help you, because obviously, like, you can start going all out with parties and it's very easy to spend a lot of money when you want to have people over. I think my first tip is pretty self-explanatory. We already know this, but I have to mention it anyway, is if you really are on a budget, you actually don't even have to make any food at all. Just tell your friends to bring the food and tell them to bring the drinks. It's funny because last weekend I wasn't expecting anybody to bring anything, but I think it's just, you know, customary for people to want to bring something. So we actually had a lot more food than I was expecting because people just brought stuff. So you could literally have a potluck backyard barbecue, ask people to bring drinks and ask them to bring, you know, their signature dish or whatever. And there you go, you have a party and it hardly costs you any money. But if you do want to take care of the food for your guests, these tips are really going to help you out. So my very first one is super important, and that is drop the whole backyard barbecue means having hot dogs and hamburgers. I don't know when hot dogs got so expensive, but I remember they used to be like super cheap, and now if you go to the store, they're pretty pricey, right? Which is so crazy. Like, what are they even made out of? And hamburgers are not cheap either. And then I have no idea when buns got so expensive, but now we're dealing with almost like $4 for a pack of 4. That is way too expensive when you're going to have a whole bunch of people over and you want to be budget conscious. So I've just stopped having hamburgers and hot dogs at barbecues because then you don't have to deal with all the condiments anyway, which is annoying, and that's more money that you have to spend. Chicken and pork are your new best friends for backyard barbecues. They're the meats that are going to give you the best bang for your buck. Andrew wanted to do a pulled pork this weekend. We didn't really have to do it. My go-tos is more of this Hawaiian barbecue chicken that I'm gonna drop the recipe linked below for you. So that recipe requires chicken thighs. It is best if you use boneless, skinless, but you could still use, you know, you could do skin on, bone on as well. So depending on your budget, I just feel like chicken is way more budget friendly than those hot dogs and hamburgers. Next up, let's talk about sides. Okay, so with sides, you gotta think one-dimensional here. So first of all, never buy anything pre-packaged. If you've been hanging out with me for a while, you know I'm all about eating food from scratch. It's really good for your, you know, if you're on a budget, and it's also really good for your health. So make all of your own sides, but find sides that don't have a ton of ingredients. You know, you don't wanna have to be making some broccoli salad that has like broccoli, grapes, and cheese and all this crazy stuff in it. So you wanna find recipes that really only have a few ingredients. For me, my go-to salad is a Hawaiian mac salad, kind of to go along with the Hawaiian chicken. And really the only ingredients in it are like mayo and carrots and celery. So it's very, very cheap, and obviously the macaroni. For veggies, I'm all about the cucumber salad because, again, cucumbers are very cheap, especially in the summer. You know, you can get 2 cucumbers for like $1. So if you just buy a couple of those, you can use, I'll have a recipe for you guys linked below, but there's a whole bunch of different cucumber recipes out there that you could use. So just try to find things that don't have a ton of ingredients and you'll be really good for your budget. And along the lines of not buying pre-made things, please just don't ever buy pre-made potato salad, or don't buy those big veggie platters or those big fruit platters. Just buy a watermelon and cut it up. Nobody's going to remember that maybe you could have had an entire assortment of fruit. They're going to just be happy that you have the thing. Carrots are another really great one, like just baby carrots. Buy a package of that, make your own ranch dip, you're good to go. And then for dessert, especially if there's gonna be kids around, guys, I just bought literally like a package of chocolate chips, made some chocolate chip cookies. It was very inexpensive, way better than just buying cookies at the store, and we had dessert. It was perfect. Now let's get to everybody's favorite part, the drinks. So a really great way to be budget friendly with this is to have people bring, you know, if they ask you if they should bring anything, have them bring the drinks, because that's gonna be a lot more expensive in the long run than the food. So, you know, obviously you can go really cheap with your mass market beers, or you could go a little bit more expensive with craft beers. I would just only buy 1 to 2 bottles of wine. Honestly, it's surprising how many people don't drink wine. And I was actually keeping my wines in the fridge so people weren't asking for them, which I know is terrible. But you know, if I was keeping them in the fridge rather than the cooler, they were less likely to be drank. So we didn't go through too much wine. So that saved me money on that. Now, obviously there's going to be people at your party that don't drink alcohol. So instead of buying canned sodas, I would recommend buying like 2-liter sodas and providing cups and ice for people. You'd be surprised as to how many cans don't just go missing then. People are a lot more likely to keep track of their cup rather than just a random can of soda. So that's a really great way to save money. Also, when you're offering things like water and iced tea, just use the water out of the sink. You know, you can flavor it with some lemons, but just put it in a big pitcher with some ice instead of having individual water bottles for everybody. Iced tea is another one that's super easy. You could just literally buy like tea packets and then make your own iced tea. That's not something that you need to buy in bulk. So there you have all of your drinks pretty much set. You're giving people plenty of options and it's not that expensive. So just remember, we're making our own stuff at home. We're really not buying many things unless it's soda. All right guys, so of course I've got all of the recipes that I used for my backyard party linked below for you, so you can go ahead and use that for your party this weekend. And as I mentioned, Andrew did do some pulled pork for ours, but really that was just kind of additional, so I didn't add that. You'll be just fine with the Hawaiian chicken, the mac salad, the cucumber salad, and then a simple veggie platter. So I hope you have fun with your party this weekend. Don't get too stressed out. Everything is going to be fine and low-key, and everybody's going to have a good time. Let me know how it goes in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers!